Welcome to the Healing Heart Podcast, where all healing is always a matter of the heart. I'm your host, Donna Campbell, also known as the Mind Whisperer, interviewing guest experts on all matters of healing. Welcome back, everybody, here to the Healing Heart Podcast. And I am your host, Donna Campbell. And I am truly excited for my next guest because let's talk about healing. Let's talk about transformation. She has it all. Eileen Durfee is a former nuclear engineer, auditor, trainer, land developer, home builder, and inventor with, get this, 10 patents. She is also the CEO and founder of Creatrix Solutions, an innovative health specialist and expert in spine health, reducing pain, improving overall wellness, and increasing athleticism. Eileen became sick due to chemical exposure, endured injuries, and had poor posture from growing 9 inches in 3 months. That's like 3 inches a month, you guys. And if that wasn't enough, she was ran over by a car. So on her quest to heal her body, she discovered what solutions worked and wanted to use her knowledge and experience to help others. Eileen's mission is to revolutionize the physical fitness and wellness industries to give everyone that S-shaped spine so people can avoid injuries and surgeries and live longer, solving America's $100 billion a year low back pain problem. So welcome here to the Healing Heart Podcast, Eileen.
Well, thank you for having me on, Donna.
So share with us a little bit about your backstory, how you got into nuclear engineering, growing, all of that in like 3 months to what you do today with the spinal health. And I know we're going to get into some things about skincare, oxygen, and looking younger.
Yeah, well, I mean, ever since the doctor pulled me out with forceps, I had some structural issues because of how I grew inside my mom. My hips were twisted. One knee always hit into the other. So I had to wear these special shoes. I was in pain my whole life. One leg was shorter than the other, but it wasn't anatomically. It was because of this twisting in the fascia.
Wow.
And, you know, the doctors didn't have anything for my parents. And so I endured the pain, grew 9 inches in 3 months. Wow. I'm 6 foot tall. My dad has a great aunt who's 6'5". So it's just like a real growth spurt. And that really hurt a lot. And I was walking in a grocery store parking lot and this car did not see me and they ran me over. It was like daggers. Every breath I took stabbing me in the chest. You know, I couldn't move my arms. It was just horrific. And I met a chiropractor who was into exercise rehabilitation. I mean, I was getting adjusted every day and going through that. And he basically restored my function. And I've utilized those exercises pretty much my whole life. And, you know, if you x-ray my spine, my discs are in real good shape. I don't have worn off bones, things like that. But I became sick with a lot of other health problems when I got a silver amalgam filling when I was 19 years old.
Oh, wow.
And then I became allergic to everything. My lungs started closing up. I had psoriasis all over my body. My hair was falling out. I couldn't remember anything. It was horrible. And so it's just been kind of this learning curve of being on medications to suppress symptoms when I had this underlying feeling that, you know, if my body just had what it needed, it could heal itself. I wouldn't have to suffer. And I just kept on learning. I mean, I ate paleo in the 80s before paleo existed. And I just, you know, found out about the Candida connection. So I went, you know, low carb and nothing to feed the Candida, gluten-free. Just, you know, I did that for 3 years where I never ate anything out of a can or a box. And I rotated what I ate because if I ate anything within 72 hours, I would become allergic to it because of now, like we know, leaky gut and
right,
all these things. And then I came across hair analysis. It was just one more thing I was going to try. And it was amazing. All these, you know, the insomnia, the panic attacks, just all the joint pain, all these things that I had were starting to vanish, because I had Rife machines and multiple wave oscillators and pulse electromagnetic frequency machines and all these machines to try to control my pain without drugs. And I found like, wow, I didn't have to go into the machine today, because I'd have to do a session like every so many days or else I'd be in pain. And it was amazing. And so then I thought, oh yeah, I'll just take these supplements. These are doing great. Do this diet. And, the symptoms started coming back because they recommended a retest. I thought, why do you need a retest? So all these symptoms were cropping back up. So it's like, okay, I better get a retest. They just had me change. Instead of taking 2 of these supplements, calcium, magnesium supplements, 3 times a day, I was only supposed to take 1 a day. And within 3 days, again, all the symptoms were gone. And I'm thinking, wow, oh my word, I'm horrified, because you know what my kitchen cupboard looked like? Like 3 upper bins. It's like you buy everything natural because it's good for this. And I was chasing symptoms with supplements instead of drugs. But I was horrified. Like, are you kidding me? That I was taking that and it caused all these problems. So I probably caused a lot of my arthritis because of some of the stuff that I was taking in excess. But, I was like fearful. It's like, you don't want to quit taking something you're taking. You just add something else on. And it was crazy. And so then I actually, because at the time, I've been a nuclear power plant engineer. That was back when OSHA didn't give you fresh air. So you're breathing stuff you're not supposed to be breathing. So you're becoming toxic. And now I know from my genetics that I don't eliminate toxins well. So, there goes some more health complications. And then I went into the real estate industry and I did land development and built houses and ran construction crews. And all the time I'm doing all these fasts and trying all these diets and, everything. And so then I went back to school, got my degree in the nutritional balancing for laboratory hair analysis. And then, when you go on this hair analysis program, it's not like a bunch of chelators that you have to, go through detox, but your body freely gives it up. It says, oh my gosh, the new car parts are here and we can install them. Okay, out with the lead. We don't need that for the calcium. We don't need the, toxins, the aluminum for the magnesium or the cadmium for the zinc. And so your body just dumps all this stuff and you feel like crud. So then it's like, I've always been a gizmo woman. It's just like I buy everything and try it. It's like, I don't know how many listeners have a garage full of stuff they never use.
I'm guilty.
It's like all these great ideas. How do you implement them in your life? Right. So I basically, with my background, I didn't have any brothers. I used to work in my dad's machine shop and run lathes and do all this kind of stuff. I'm real mechanical, but besides, it's like, I just go to sleep with a problem and I wake up and I see it in blueprint, like drawing. I see these things. It's like I'm getting help, and so then I know, it's like I brought my own 3D printer. So I'd be printing out stuff or I'd be making prototypes, and then I filed patents. So I just make a good widget that's healthier for you, more affordable, that's easier to use. Because bottom line, if you have the best widget in the world and if you never use it, you get no benefits. So that's kind of how this snowballed into then me going full-time in my health business. And I've got web stores and we ship products to like 91 countries. And I'm like, I tell people I'm in my 4th life now because I'm finally doing what I like to do, going from nuclear power plant to real estate developer, builder, and I manage nonprofit corporations and just a variety of things. But now I get just a real satisfaction from actually helping people get their life back, because at 60 years old now, I feel better than I have my whole life. I go to sleep, I sleep well, I wake up with energy, I don't have pain, I'm really functional.
Right. And so today, you have so many amazing gifts. So today, how are you helping people You're revolutionizing the physical fitness and wellness industries. This is like what I call our silver gift, because all the stuff you went through in the past, all the trauma, all of the events and everything really got you to this moment to really share your gifts and talents and your abilities with the entire world. So with all the things that you're doing, share with us how you're helping people really improve their lives.
You mentioned the low back pain problem. That's huge. I mean, it's like, who do you know, or have you personally had a backache?
I think everybody has.
Yeah. And, one of the things that a lot of people are doing now is they're doing yoga, they're stretching. But if anybody ever really thought about it, you can't change the attachment points for the muscles on the bone. So, when that muscle gets tight, what's the real reason? So if you had this, I talk about it, an S-shaped spine, it's your head is more balanced over your pelvis and your legs and knees. And so mathematically, there's a lot less compression and pounds and forces on our joints. It's like if you have good posture, for instance, and your hamstrings are not tight and you're standing up, there's zero effort on the hamstrings. But if your upper body, let's say at your waist, is tilted, 2 inches and your head's another 2, guess how much every second your hamstring is efforting? It's 843 pounds per second.
Wow.
I mean, there's an analysis. If you're going to lift 100 pounds and you put it on your shoulder and you walk, the total poundages and compression that goes through your body are over 25,000 pounds. And we wonder, when we have tight muscles in our neck and our arms because we're working at the computer or we're looking at our phone and we've got a headache, why? We feel so tired and exhausted. Actually, your body expends more energy holding your body erect in gravity than any other function. So that's the first thing I do is I teach people some simple things that they can do at home to help alleviate some of this tension and stress, because again, the real reason is getting a better shape in your spine so the muscles relax.
Right.
And then just simple stuff like, we have the 21st century disease indoors, right? So that means we got lower oxygen levels. We're breathing in more contaminants. EPA says indoor air is 3 to 5 times more contaminated than outdoors. I guess unless you live in a really bad place, like in Los Angeles, right along the highway. But, so getting outdoors, especially without sunglasses for the morning sun to get into your eyes, to have the circadian rhythm reset, because a lot of our sleep disturbances are because we're having the artificial light. We're not getting outdoors in nature. We're not grounding to let our inflammation come out of our body. So there's free stuff that you can do.
Right.
I like challenge people. Okay, for a month, sometime in the morning before 8-10 a.m., go out, even if it's cloudy. If there's sunshine out, get 5-10 minutes. If it's cloudy, 20 to 30 minutes for a month, and then report back to me how you're sleeping. It's like a miracle what happens, just so simple as that, And so I try to make, I try to tell people, just pick 1 or 2 things. And then when that gives you, some good feelings and you're getting some rewards, then maybe they're going to be more motivated to do some of the other things I recommend. And if somebody goes up to me and says, Eileen, I'm only going to do 1 thing for my health. I'm not changing what I'm eating. I'm not changing nothing. What would I do? And I'd say, well, take a daily coffee enema. And they're going, what? But we could talk for an hour about the benefits of a coffee enema. But basically, it increases glutathione production 600% in the body, which is a master antioxidant. So that's going to reduce inflammation and pain. There's stories of Hitler when his army was cut off from supplies and they were operating on soldiers without anesthetic. And the nurses started giving him coffee enemas instead of just a plain water enema. And their pain reduction was so dramatic that 3 universities studied about it. And they found out basically it was the caffeine and the palmitic acid. But, people can a lot of times even get off painkillers. by doing a coffee enema. And of course, I made a gizmo that it's a stand-up no-mess coffee enema kit you can do in the shower. Okay, so no more laying down, getting fecal water everywhere, and
I might be interested in that one.
Hurting your back, your knees, But then there's light. Okay. Our biggest elimination organ in our bodies, our skin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so why not take advantage of that? It's undisputed that sauna therapy, if you take like 5 saunas a week, you're going to die, from 60% less causes, including accidents, than anybody else around you. I mean, it's like astronomically and you're going to live 10 years longer. So it's just like so good for you, that heat stress therapy. But then there's different kinds of saunas. So you can stack your hacks, combine red light, near infrared light. So I've got an invention that doesn't need a preheat. You'll sweat twice as much in half the time and maximize the phototherapy. It was approved as the brand for Hope for Cancer out of Tijuana and Cancun for the infrared sauna. Mine's the one that's recommended. And also the Heal Hive group for Lyme disease. Mine's the only brand recommended, because there's something special about my panels that won't let the light leave when it's traveling at the speed of light and it's rebouncing and absorbing into your skin. Speed of light times every second you're in there, that's how much more benefits you're getting. So that's part of the reason you're heating up from the inside out. There's just all kinds of things people can do. One of the first things that I learned, and I know we talked about this, was, how to get more oxygen in your body.
Okay. So hold that thought right there, because I have so many questions with everything, but we're going to take that sponsor break. And for those of you that are listening, our guest today is Eileen Durfee, and we are talking about all the different things that we can use for healing. And we'll be back in just a moment. Get what you always wanted. Abundant life is possible. Transform your lifestyle in just weeks with the most innovative system developed for heart-centered business professionals who seek change today. You are one step away from creating infinite prosperity, happiness, and love. Grab your bonus link now that's in the show notes. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Healing Heart Podcast. And my guest today is Eileen Durfee. And we are talking about really all things healing, from your spine to posture to infrared saunas and all of the different things that we can do to maximize our healing in our body. And one of my favorite topics here, of course, is about oxygen and skin, because skin is the largest organ everywhere. And I know most of you are listening to the podcast. You can't see Eileen. She looks amazing. If you check her out on the YouTube channel, leave a comment, because she has beautiful skin, you guys. All right, so share with us about oxygenating the skin.
Well, I think it was in about 1996 when my mom found out about ozonated water. So it's interesting. People think about ozone as maybe the ozone layer in a bad connotation. But ozone is actually used industrially for a lot of things. And all it is simply is 3 molecules of O1. So it's 3 oxygen singlets. And in nature, when there's not an even pair, it's very unstable. So with ozone being O3, it's super unstable. So immediately one of those O1 breaks off and it oxidizes bad stuff. And then what's left over is pure oxygen. So breathing ozone gas is bad for your lungs. It causes permanent lung damage, but it's another story when you dissolve it in water. So I began dissolving ozone gas in water and then using it. I mean, washing my face with it, brushing my teeth with it, literally drinking it. Now, there's something about the body, just like, if you don't have oxygen, within a matter of minutes, you're going to die. But your body, the cells in your body have to have a certain amount of oxygen for them to maintain their health. And there's a protective enzyme coating around healthy cells that will be there if you have enough oxygen. So what can we do to get more oxygen in our body so our overall health cells stay healthier? I mean, one of the hallmarks to aging is cells not having enough oxygen. So if you want to have healthy skin, it's not just a outside topical approach. It's really from the inside out. And that's why one of the things I do is I recommend drinking ozonated water. And ozone, one molecule of ozone gas is an equivalent to 3,000 to 10,000 molecules of bleach. And people are going, okay, I can't drink bleach.
Right.
How in the heck can I drink ozonated water, right?
Right.
We know ozone is smart because when it sees the cells that have an enzyme coating on it, it bypasses them. So what it's going to do is it's only going to oxidize, and that's like blowing a hole in the cell. So if you have a virus or a bacteria or a fungus or a parasite or something like that, ozone is going to oxidize it. So it's going to blow a hole in it. And so when a cell, because every day our body's making new cells and recycling old ones. Every one of us actually have cancer cells in our body, but when we have a healthy immune system, our body takes care of those. So ozonated water is amazing because it won't touch the healthy cells. And what it does is it oxidizes the ones that our immune system needs to recycle anyway. So it's like giving us a leg up. It's like taking the straw off the camel's back. It's helping out our immune function by using this ozonated water. And you'd think, man, that's an awesome miracle. But guess what happens after that oxidation happens? It actually releases O2, pure oxygen in your body. So you know how you have to have adequate oxygen levels in the body to maintain that enzyme coating around the cells. So it actually boosts your oxygen metabolism so less cells are prone to infection.
Wow.
It's just absolutely amazing. And the other benefit of this is when there's contaminated groundwater, the EPA literally drills wells and has giant ozonators, and they ozonate the water. Because ozone will break down petrochemicals, heavy metals, and all these contaminants. And what are we? We're mostly water, right?
Right.
So there's another bang for our buck for drinking this ozone water. You know, besides washing your face with it, but you know, so it's anti-aging because we're indoors in that HVA system that keeps us cool and keeps us warm is stripping out oxygen from the air. It's stripping out negative ions from the air. So all of a sudden our body is in deficiency mode, you know, so we need to be active. We do our deep breathing to try to get oxygen. But I've created another device. I was on an airplane and I had a lucid dream. There was a little gizmo on my table and it was attached to a battery pack that you charge your tablet with. And it was running and I was breathing safe and other people on the plane were getting sick. That's what I saw. So I called this company that I'm working with the engineer, and I had a bigger air purifier. And I said, it has to be this long and this wide. This is what it looks like. It runs on a battery pack. And, you know, it needs to be portable. So we created a device called the Breathe Safe. So at the time, I had this thing making negative ions and positive ions, like the Los Angeles airport uses what they call plasma air purifiers, and it gets rid of the jet fumes. You know, for years, we've known about negative ion generators, but plasma is more effective. But what I found out after I made this little gizmo so that we can use it in the sauna, so it causes our rectal temperature to go up and us to double our sweat volume and all this other great stuff when we're breathing this. I had some people get a hold of me and say, Eileen, I was having an asthma attack and I instead of using my inhaler, I just breathed over this thing. What is this thing making? So I sent it off to the laboratory. And guess what this thing does? It makes oxygen. it increases background levels of oxygen,
Wow.
70 to 118%. So when you're indoors and this air is being stripped out of oxygen, you can set this little gizmo right there on your desk. You know, by the way, the computer screens are emitting poisonous positive ions. So we can use this to boost our oxygen. You know, I have people sleeping with it.
Yes.
People should read the 5-star reviews, but you know,
I absolutely love that, because, you know, I total agreement with you on all of it. And yet I have like plants all the way around my house, everywhere in every room. And they're like, no, don't buy another plant. And I'm like, I need another plant. That might solve my problem.
Yeah. I actually read a study about some plants that are genetically engineered. They're not available for purchase yet, that like absorb 10 times the toxins of a normal house plant, you know, for air purification. But yeah, I mean, it's like, what? Air is your number one exposure because you're breathing every second.
Every moment.
Clean air is so, so important for people. But, you know, the oxygen thing, it's huge.
Yes.
We do make our own skincare line. And that originated because we started with deodorant, because my daughter, I mean, you know, it's like, I don't want to use toxic deodorant. And that's like, let's face it, the natural ones, you still stink. They don't work.
Been there, done that.
So we actually have 2 deodorants that actually work. I mean, it's like 5-star reviews just raving about how this stuff works. But the base of the product is an ancestral animal fat.
Really?
Our ancestors used to make all their body washes and their skincare products out of animal fats. So we literally use the fat on a cow that's on top of the kidneys in a fascia sac. A cow can have 300 pounds, but there's only 15 pounds of this really good stuff on a cow. Then you render it down and you only end up with 25%. So we call it like liquid gold, and we get grass fed, no antibiotics, no hormones, all that kind of stuff. And then we make the deodorants, but then we made some balms. And then people were like raving about the balm. I wanted lotions. So we, all in all, now we have 9 tallow-based skincare products. And we even have a 5-star review from a vegan who had a skin condition that even prescription medications would not fix. So she was desperate and she tried it and it completely cleared up her skin problem. And so we use almost all organic, you know, and any of the fragrances are either from the oils or the essential oils. But we've got like an anti-aging one. I just got pictures from a customer who had capillary bleeds underneath her skin and you know, just spider stuff that she's had for years, and she's used everything under the sun. And she bought my anti-aging facial toner and my anti-aging cream. And in a month, she showed me before and after pictures where it completely eliminated all of her capillary bleeds in her body. So animal fats have fat soluble vitamins. So it's like, you know, we eat foods, we have to digest it to get our vitamins, or we take vitamins, but there's the transdermal benefits because we've put
it can go right into the bloodstream.
Exactly. And so and of course, if you look at videos of me from 10 years ago to today, you're going to notice a dramatic difference in, well, I've lost 30 pounds too, but there are so many less wrinkles. I look so much younger. And I think it's a combination of getting extra oxygen on the inside of my body, doing the coffee enemas, doing the saunas, but doing the skincare, nourishing my skin, because, you know, I'm wanting to grow older, but look and feel younger. That's my thing now that I don't have health problems.
So you're going to have to share with us, because we've talked about so many different amazing things and we're a little over our time, but you know, I absolutely love everything that you're doing. So how do we get in contact with you? How do we get in touch with you? How do we get some of these amazing things? Because I want to try them all.
Well, we've got the main website, which is creatrixsolutions.com. And so it's a little hard to get the pronunciation and the spelling, but it's like create, but it's CREATRIX as an X-ray solutions.com. And it's like a health shopping mall because we got you covered what you drink, breathe, put on your skin, how to get the toxins out, how to get rid of your posture problems and solve pain issues and help you grow younger. And then we've got Instagram. We are probably more active on that social channel, and it's also creatrixsolutions.com.
Okay, perfect. And everybody, yes, all of those links will be in the show notes, so you guys can definitely grab those. And Eileen, thank you so much for being such an amazing guest on our podcast. There was so much information. I just wanted to I could probably listen to you for another 3 hours to keep going, and I should be jotting down notes. So I'm going to have to go back and re-listen to this one as well myself. So thank you for being on today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right. And for everybody else, just go create that beautiful day.